You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
Prepare for extraction.
Remember when Star Wars Battlefront came out? Then shortly after, EA and DICE apologized for giving us a partial game and locking the rest behind the season pass. They implied Star Wars Battlefront 2 would make up for it. Well, here we are. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is out and it's really bad. Star Wars Battlefront 2 doesn't only have a campaign that feels half finished, the game generally feels clunky to play, and with the addition of predatory pay-to-win microtransaction loot boxes, it seems like EA and DICE forgot how to make a game that's fun. Star Wars Battlefront 2 actually has a compelling story. You play as Iden Versio, the commander of the Imperial Special Forces Inferno Squadron unit, and after the death of the Emperor, certain things happen to convince Versio to switch sides. The game does an okay job filling in the gaps between episodes 6 and 7, and while the gameplay during the 4 to 5 hour campaign was very cookie cutter and frankly half-assed, for the short time it lasted, the story kept me moving forward. However, right when things are about to get interesting, the game unceremoniously ends, like right in the middle of the story. So the story goes from having potential and almost having consequences on the greater Star Wars universe, to a story that would have been better off not being told. There's literally no impact, and that's the worst thing a story can have. Now we come to the main point of Star Wars Battlefront 2, the multiplayer. I really wasn't expecting too much out of the story of a mostly multiplayer focused game, but then I played the multiplayer. The game types are pretty horribly designed and uninspired. The game's servers have so much latency and lag that at times it was impossible to play. There is also very little balance in the game. I will say this, however, the Starfighter Assault game mode is really freaking good. It's fun to play and makes you feel like you're actually in a space battle taken straight from the movies. That being said, even if you do find you are enjoying the gameplay, which is unlikely, any progression in unlocking weapons and skills are all tied to loot boxes. You can earn these loot boxes in-game, but they take so long to unlock, and you aren't guaranteed anything of value in the loot boxes, that it makes progression slow and tedious and boring. There is an alternative way to power up your gameplay though. Purchase the loot boxes with real-world money. If you're inclined, you could spend more money on this already premium-priced game to upgrade your soldiers, ships, or heroes, giving you advantages right off the bat in multiplayer. And not just small advantages, actual, real, palpable advantages. This takes the little balance that there was in the game and completely throws it out the window. This is the most obnoxious and predatory use of loot boxes I've seen in the premium $60 game space. The utilization of the gambling tactics are akin to something you would see in a horrible free-to-play mobile game. The game even limits the amount of credits you can earn in certain game modes to push you more towards the purchase of loot boxes with real money. EA and DICE stated the reason for this is because they don't want to upset in-game balance and limit the amount of farming someone can do, but if that was really the case, why would you be able to purchase as many loot boxes as you want? Since the launch of the game, because there's been so much backlash, EA has temporarily turned off the real money currency. The key word here is temporarily. But this doesn't help the game because the loot box based progression is still the thing that makes it unbearable to play. EA and DICE made a game that was supposed to be an apology and a way to make up for the blunders of the first Battlefront, and made a game that has an even worse and more controversial business tactic. In my game reviews, I don't usually like to tell you whether or not you should buy a game or not, but this time, I urge you to vote with your wallet, and to not support this predatory Star Wars casino meant to lure vulnerable people and children into gambling. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the worst game of 2017. Not because of the gameplay or story, which isn't great to begin with, but because of the greed of Electronic Arts and DICE and the implementation of predatory pay-to-win tactics.
EA Games. We've got to have money.